By the end of the Rings of Power Season 1, the 3 Elven power rings had been created. The Rings of Power, a precursor to the Lord of the Rings, is advancing the development of the One Ring. That implies that the remaining rings, which total 19 and are distributed among the various Middle-earth races, must first be made. Given these facts, it should come as no surprise that the first season finished with the creation of the first 3 rings. The Elven rings were made because the elves feared time passing, according to J.R.R. Tolkien's own notes. The power rings revealed that the elves are perishing and must leave Middle-earth or perish. The elven smith Celebrimbor discovered a potential solution lay in mithril, and he was inspired to craft a sample from the dwarves into a crown. Plans changed, however, in part because of the manipulation of Sauron, who had earned Celebrimbor's confidence under the alias of Halbrand. The story is subtly different from the one told in Tolkien's notes and appendices for The Lord of the Rings, but it's clearly rooted in them nonetheless. Here's everything viewers need to know about the 3 elven rings, Vilya, Nenya, and Narya. Even Celebrimbor, one of history's finest blacksmiths, was unable to work with mithril. However, Sauron, who had evidently been experimenting with this form of magic for a while, was able to offer guidance on how to employ mithril, recommending first an alloy, and then a softer method of forging as opposed to the more forceful methods Celebrimbor had been pursuing. Celebrimbor's first plan had been to fashion a mithril crown that would be worn by Elven King Gil-galad. However, there wasn't enough mithril to achieve this, so Celebrimbor chose rings instead. Galadriel was the one who decided that there should be 3 rings. Having become aware that Halbrand was really Sauron, she realized the elves had been manipulated. Warned by a vision, she insisted there should not be 1 ring, for that would create a ruler and a potential tyrant, nor should there be 2, because that would sow division. Instead, there should be 3, to allow for the potential for balance. The 3 elven rings incorporate Fëanor's jewels, 3 gems known as the Silmarils that contain some of the light from the 2 trees of Valinor. They were considered some of the most beautiful objects in Middle-earth and were coveted by Morgoth, Sauron's predecessor as Dark Lord. These gems are likely the reason the elven rings can control the flow of time, for they contain the power of the immortal realm Valinor. They effectively restore the elves' immortality, ensuring they will not continue to fade away. It remains to be seen whether the damage that has already been done can be reversed. The names of the elven rings come from Fëanor's jewels since the gems inside each one are named after the elvish people. Vilya is blue, Narya is red, and Nenya is white. Though the first 3 rings in The Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power were all crafted from the same material. Only Nenya had been formed of mithril and J.R.R. Tolkien's original literature. It's noteworthy to note that this has given mithril a considerably greater significance. This makes what happens in the dwarven city of Khazad-dûm crucial for the future of the series. The inconsistent behavior, as well as the disparate appearance, can probably be attributed to the metals utilized in alloys. The ability to stop the elves from deteriorating further makes each of the 3 elven rings necessary for ensuring their continuing existence in Middle-earth. However, they each have unique skills that make them particularly effective weapons against Sauron. Narya encourages people to rebel against oppression, Nenya hides creatures from the side of evil, and Vilya is thought to have healing abilities. The second season of The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, will undoubtedly feature the use of all 3 elven rings. Of all, they are merely the initial rings, and eventually Sauron will create the one ring to govern them all. The Rings of Power will be bound to Sauron's will, but fortunately, the elven bearers of the rings will sense this at the moment he puts the one ring on his finger, and take them off before they come under his control. But those events are presumably distant ones, many seasons down the road. The rings Vilya and Narya will originally be given to High King Gil-galad, who will distribute them between Elrond and his fellow elven lord Círdan, in accordance with Tolkien tradition. The fate of Nenya is a little less certain. However, Galadriel was shown wearing it in the Third Age in Peter Jackson's The Lord of the Rings films. Galadriel could end up becoming the final one of the 3 rings keepers in The Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power. Although the elves are to blame for the creation of Sauron's potential tools, Galadriel may be able to utilize Nenya to track him down since he would be blinded by her threat while she was wearing the ring. The 3 elven rings are powerful weapons that can be used against Sauron, which makes it rather surprising he helped forge them in the first place. But it's important to note that dialogue in The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, suggests Sauron has been trying to forge these rings for some time, believing he could unlock a power greater than that of the flesh. Celebrimbor has shown Sauron that mithril is the key to doing so, and no doubt The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power Season 2 will see him pursue it. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to comment, subscribe, and give us a like.